What's cracking, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and children of all ages? Welcome to this Thursday edition of In the Pink. I am your hostess, Pinky. First of all, let me apologize for the lack of shows that's been going up. It's been a chaos over here at the new improved Casa studios, so things are getting together, construction being done. If you hear some, sawing going on, it's the construction guys over there doing something. I think they're making me a statue in my honor. Just saying, it'd be funny. Let's get right down to business. I have a couple of questions that came from YouTube this week. Actually, I'm rehashing those because I never got around to them, so I figured for those who submitted questions, I am so sorry it took me so long, but here we go. From YouTube, fan Coolio. Pinky, what's your thoughts on celebrities being in the Hall of Fame, i.e. Drew Carey, Donald Trump, etc., etc.? It's a two-parter. Let me answer that. I'm not sure how I feel about that. Donald Trump deserves to be in the Hall of Fame for the simple fact that he did host 2 consecutive WrestleManias, 4 and 5, if you guys remember that far back, at Trump Plaza in Atlantic City, and those were some of the best WrestleManias that they've had at that time. Drew Carey being in the Hall of Fame, why? I don't know. The only thing he's famous for as far as WWE or F is concerned is eliminating himself in the 2001 Royal Rumble, because he really didn't feel like getting chokeslammed by Kane. He even tried to offer Kane money, and Kane was like, I don't want money, I want your head. So, climbs over the top rope, jumps to the ground, eliminates himself. The one celebrity I would love to see in the Hall of Fame, just because he's one of my favorite game show hosts, Bob Barker. If we're going to induct Drew Carey, why can't we induct Bob Barker? At least he was relevant in this century. He did, host Monday Night Raw, and can we get the Muppets in the Hall of Fame while we're at it? Except about Miss Piggy and Kermit. I'm just saying, can we get some real celebrities that deserve to be in the Hall of Fame? Because I think Miss Piggy can take on Vicky Guerrero and kick her ass. Just saying. And part 2 to that question, what are your all-time WrestleManias? Wow. Too many to count, but let's start. Of course, WrestleMania 1, had it not been for that, we would not be going into WrestleMania 29. There was an interview a few years back with Vince McMahon and Linda McMahon. They even, divulged into WrestleMania 1, the behind-the-scenes work behind that. Howard Finkel is the one who actually came up with the name WrestleMania. Boardroom meeting, and they're talking about Beatlemania. We need to call this something fun and kind of play off Beatlemania. Howard Finkel came up with WrestleMania. How can you get any more better than that? You really can't. And if I'm not mistaken, they actually said they almost sold Shane in stock at that time. Stephanie wasn't here yet, but they were trying to hawk Shane to make sure they had the money for WrestleMania on Closed Circuit TV. I said Closed Circuit TV. Anybody remember that? Select TV, when it, before, Charter, Verizon, and Cox, and COX people. Cox TV and all that. Select TV, but Closed Circuit TV was the best way to get anything at that time. So, WrestleMania 1, WrestleMania 10, the first one Undertaker didn't show up at, but something else incredible happened that night. The first match of the night was Owen Hart versus Bret. Bret was supposed to win. Bret was supposed to beat the evil Owen Hart, but Owen Hart pulled a fast one and beat him anyway. And left Bret sitting in the ring wondering what happened and why. But Bret came back later on that night and won the title from Yokozuna. This match also saw a heel turn match prior to this one by Mr. Perfect, as far as the match with Yokozuna versus Lex Luger. And if you all know, I really can't stand Lex Luger. That's just my personal opinion. WrestleMania 13. Not for the title match, as you guys might think, because of the person's name tattooed on the back of my neck, but 2 matches before that. Bret Hart versus Stone Cold Steve Austin. Have mercy, that match was and still and forever will be one of the greatest WrestleMania matches ever. That match saw The fans cheering for Bret and booing Stone Cold at the beginning of the match, and somewhere around the, I say, 12-minute mark, the fans switched just because they could. Started cheering for Stone Cold and booing Bret Hart. At the end of the match, Bret takes liberties on Stone Cold. Special referee Ken Shamrock basically waist locks him and takes him down. And Bret looks like he wants to fight. I'm like, yeah, go ahead, take on, take him on. Go ahead, try to kick his ass. And Ken Shamrock was having none of it. Stone Cold said in interviews prior to this match that he would never submit. He would never tap out. He would never give up. He passed out. Stone Cold kept to his word that night. How can you not like a guy that was locked in the freaking sharpshooter, blood pouring down his face, and he passes out, his body couldn't take it no more, but he kept to his word. He didn't tap out, he didn't give up, he didn't submit. That match is one of my all-time favorite matches. Another match that gives me goosebumps to this very day, and I can't believe I'm getting goosebumps now talking about it, WrestleMania 27. The Undertaker versus Triple H. Taker wins the match in spectacular fashion, but doesn't get up on his own accord. When he does get up, he falls on his face. He tried to get out the ring and falls flat. Triple H is already, trying to walk up the ramp, and you can see the look on Triple H's face, like, kind of looking back like, oh, God, is he okay? And, the workers at ringside trying to tend to Taker, like, dude, stay in character, go. And the look on Triple H's face is like, oh, my gosh, this is horrible. Taker had to be carried out. Not on a stretcher, one of the motorized carts, I will say. Taker had to be carried out, and I absolutely bawled. Yeah, I'm the biggest Taker mark, you'll over me, but I don't care. I cried my eyes out because I'm like, holy crap, he's not walking. He can't even be, carried out by humans. He had to be carried out on a motorized cart. And WrestleMania 28. The revenge match, as I like to call it. Taker versus Triple H, it's not part duh, it's part 3. Taker comes out after months of everybody knowing that he was wearing a wig, because we all saw the picture of Taker bald. I cried. Taker comes out through the smoke and the flames, gets in the ring, looks at Triple H, and you can just hear a pin drop in the arena like, what does he look like? What does he look like? What does he look like? In his Super Shredder costume. Thank you, Renegade of Wrestling, J.J. Williams, for that. I will contest. Yeah, that was Super Shredder, but I loved it. He takes off his hood, and he has a short little mohawk. Yay! It is time to beat the game. He beat him from pillar to post. The game got some shots in. Taker wins, streak intact, 20-0. I love that match. I cheered, and this time the roles were reversed. Triple H had to be carried out the ring. Oh, I forgot one more wonderful little factor about that match. Shawn Michaels almost cost The Undertaker his streak. One little fun fact, in case, those of you who just waiting on Taker to end the streak. Shawn Michaels super kicked him in the match, trying to help his best friend, his buddy, his pal, his bro, and Taker gets up and Shawn just sits in the corner like, Mommy, he's got to kill me. Because Taker wasn't having none of it. Yeah, speaking of The Undertaker streak, I will say this. The Undertaker is as good, if not better, than I've ever seen him. That's just my personal opinion. You can debate that if you want to. CM Punk is the worst threat to The Undertaker's streak that I've ever seen, with the exception of Randy Orton back in 2005 at WrestleMania 21, where I was in attendance at in the nosebleeds, but I was there. Now, speaking of the streak, I honestly think if the streak was going to end, it should have ended with Randy Orton. Randy Orton was the legend killer. He was killing legends left and right. Hi, Randy Orton, legend killer. RKO. Hi, I'm Randy Orton, legend killer. RKO. Spit in the face to Mick Foley. He RKO's Moolah. He spits in the face of Harley Race. He spits in the face of Mick Foley. He RKO's, oh my God, he actually RKO'd Hulk Hogan's arm broke. and Stacy. And he actually RKO'd Jake the Snake Roberts in the middle of the ring. Now, if the Legend Killer streak was to be intact, I think WWE creative slept on this one. If the Legend Killer streak was supposed to be intact, wouldn't you think he would defeat The Undertaker at WrestleMania to become the all-time Legend Killer? The Undertaker, legendary status for years and years, gets beat by the young kid who calls himself the Legend Killer. That would have elevated Randy Orton to heights beyond those he's ever seen now. But of course, creative being dumbasses didn't see it that way. I do believe The Undertaker believes in business. What's good for business is what's good for business. And what's good for business at that time was to have Randy Orton beat The Undertaker at WrestleMania, beat him clean. Beat him clean with no outside interference from his father, Cowboy Bob Orton. No outside interference from anyone. Beat him clean and straight and become the all-time Legend Killer. I honestly think WWE creative killed that for Randy Orton at that particular time. Now, on to CM Punk. Buddy, I do not know if I've laughed more than I cried this year. Rest in peace, Paul Bearer. But if Paul Bearer's family can, get together and say, let's make this as best as we possibly can. CM Punk still in the urn. Oh, my Undertaker, making the urn talk, flipping it around on his arms. And if you guys caught the replay, the urn drops and he says, oh shit. The first time they bleeped it, the second time they let it go, the third time they bleeped it. Get it right, people. I honestly think, now mind you, I'm the biggest Undertaker fanatic, Mark historian you will ever meet. If this is to be Undertaker's last year, if this is to be the Undertaker's last WrestleMania, I honestly think for CM Punk to submit himself as the best in the world, he should defeat The Undertaker. Will that happen? Will creative see it that way? I don't know. But I honestly know for a fact The Undertaker wants to do what's best for business and put the young guy over. He wanted to put over Randy Orton. Didn't happen. He wants to put over CM Punk. Let's see on April 7th if that actually freaking happens. Now, on the heels of that, if it does happen, you will see one thing from me. I will bawl my eyes out for two reasons. The streak has been broken, it is dead, and CM Punk has beat my baby daddy. I am conflicted as to who I want to win in this match, although I'm going to Undertaker all the way, with the same. I am honestly conflicted in my heart of hearts because CM Punk, my Chi-Town boy, Chicago Cubbies, go Cubbies! No White Sox, boo White Sox. I am conflicted because I love The Undertaker. I've loved him since I was 13 when he was in WCW. I was meeting Mark Callis when he was walking a tightrope. And I honestly think WCW screwed up on him too. He should have been United States champion, not that jackass Lex Luger. I'll get to that on another show, how much I hate Lex Luger. But if this is to be Taker's last match, last WrestleMania, all of that, CM Punk needs to win. I don't know if this is going to be it, but it would seem fitting to be 20-1 for CM Punk to be that one that no one else could do what CM Punk has done. Defeat The Undertaker at WrestleMania. Will it be the help of the Shield? Will it be the help of Paul Heyman and Brock Lesnar? Or will CM Punk actually do it on his own and win clean with no outside interference? Honestly, I can't wait to see what happens in that match. I hope you're watching too. Now, on to my next question from Kirby Shottis, a loyal fan and frequent questionnaire, I guess you could say. What's your top 10 wrestling moments that give you goosebumps? I think I just said it. I can't necessarily give me, I can. Top 10 WrestleMania for the tournament where Macho Man wins. WrestleMania 5. I'm not a Hulkamaniac, never been a Hulkamaniac. I was like hoping for Macho Man on that night. Hulk Hogan was matched WrestleMania 7 for 3 reasons. Taker started his legendary streak. The career versus, I think it's a career match. Thank you. The career match, Macho Man versus Ultimate Warrior. We saw the heel turn of Sensational Sherry. God rest her soul, my darling. Oh, she was fantastic in that match. And Miss Elizabeth comes back, saves the day, kicks her out the ring. And the best couple this generation of mine has ever seen gets back together. I did not know they had professional criers in the audience that night. I was not happy, but I cried. And then we had Hulk Hogan versus Sergeant Slaughter. That was when the war was going on, and everybody was red, white, and blue, flags around the arena, flags around the world, and Hulk Hogan takes back the title for the United States of America. Yay! Let's go WrestleMania 10, the ladder match, which is not the first ladder match. People go back to Bret Hart versus Shawn Michaels, 1992. I'm just saying. That match was beautiful, fantastic, amazing, spectacular, all that good stuff. I believe I'm going to say WrestleMania 12, the Iron Man match. You had an hour and, I want to say an hour and 3 minutes of a fantastic match that had to go on to sudden death overtime. Shawn Michaels super kick wins, and one of the iconic poses that WrestleMania has ever seen and will ever see, and it will always be in the back of our minds. The bow down to the title that Shawn Michaels did. WrestleMania 11, Bret Hart versus Stone Cold. I'm not going to even say Taker versus Sid. Taker carried Sid in that match. Sid sucks. I'm just saying. I was happy the dark days were upon us and Taker finally had his reign after 6 years of getting jacked. Fuck you, Hulk Hogan. Bastard. WrestleMania 14, the birth of Stone Cold Steve Austin as the company man. If you go back to 1997, he was stunning Vince McMahon, JR, the King, stunning everybody, your mama. But WrestleMania 14 really put Stone Cold in the atmosphere. WrestleMania 15, the return match with Stone Cold versus The Rock. WrestleMania 2000, I am going to say the triangle ladder match. The Dudley Boys versus Edge and Christian versus the Hardys. WrestleMania 21. Once again, The Undertaker versus Randy Orton. I love that match. And everything else after that was just stupid. I think that was 10. If it's not, just shoot me down. I was able to attend the Championship Wrestling from Hollywood this past Sunday. A couple Sundays ago, excuse me. Had a tribute to the one and only William Alvin Moody, a.k.a. Paul Bearer, a.k.a. Percy Pringle III. I got a chance to finally hold the urn. Thank you, Shawn Ricker. It was beautiful to see the fans with the signs. If you haven't checked out my Facebook, check out my Facebook. Pinky Sage Eileen Legan, and you should be able to see pictures, you know, of the fans. Thank you, Percy. There was actually a black guy dressed up as Percy with the fro. It was absolutely beautiful. Now, I have something to show you. I was given this by the Renegade Wrestler J.J. Williams. He knows I'm the biggest Undertaker fanatic ever. I have all 12 copies of the Undertaker's comics. It's absolutely beautiful. I even have special edition 0, both number 1 and going through 10, so that's 12. I haven't read through all of these because I'm terrified I might tear them, so I think I've read maybe up to 4 so far. Thank you, Renegade Wrestler J.J. Williams, for all that. You're awesome. So, send me your questions, send me your WrestleMania questions, send me your street questions. Send me anything that's on your mind, as long as it's not too personal, I will answer it. This is In the Pink. I am your hostess, Pinky, and I'll check you next time on the Casa Studios channel.